Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptomancer, where we feature content on play-to-earn games on the blockchain. And today, we're going to do a special video on a game that I have not covered yet. The game is Gods Unchained. You can see it here in the screen. This game is a game very similar to Hearthstone, if you played Hearthstone on mobile devices, or Magic the Gathering. In fact, its creator was actually part of the Magic the Gathering Arena development team. So you'll see we'll do some gameplay here in a little bit, talking about the game and how it's played. But I wanted to start today because this is a play-to-earn game on the blockchain, similar to another game that we cover, Splinterlands, in that you can earn money and have assets in the game. Let me start by showing you, we can actually take a look at our star store here. We have some stars that we can potentially purchase some cards here with. Looking at this Assassin's Aim, which is the daily card. Yeah, I'll buy that. That's fine. 1,000 stars, we'll buy one of those. So they have cards that you can buy in the store. By just playing the game, you earn these stars, and you can exchange them for cards. The mechanics of the game, the way it works, is these cards are originally soul-bound or personal cards. You can actually use something called Flux to forge them in the forge and make NFTs minting out of them and be able to sell them on the marketplace. Let me actually go to the marketplace and show you that. It's on Immutable X. These, I've just only played the game now for about 3 weekends. If you participate in the weekend rankings tournament, you can play up to 25 games to get ranked in a weekend. And based on the number of wins, you can earn packs that you can open, and these will be on the blockchain that you can sell on the marketplace in Immutable X. And you can see I've played for 3 weekends now. I've gotten 30 minted cards on the blockchain on Immutable X, which is a layer 2 ERC or Ethereum marketplace. And we actually just completed this last weekend's ranked battles. It didn't take too long. I didn't do very well, quite honestly. I was up against some pretty tough competition in the Auric Gold level, and I think I only got maybe like 12 or 13 wins out of 25. So it wasn't great, but the good news is the packs are available. They've just released those. I'm going to open some of those here to share with you kind of what we might expect to get by playing the game. And let's see what cards we're going to get. Now, not all of these packs are going to be minted on the blockchain. Some of these are core packs because I didn't do so well. But let's see what cards we get. So here, that is a deception card. Okay, these are all standard cards. And that Firewine is a rare card, and that is a nice spell. Spells are denoted with circles. Monsters are denoted with squares. So that's worth noting, and relics are denoted with like a hexagon. So we have the next pack we'll open here that we won over the weekend. Drag it into here. You can see the game is very polished. It's got great graphics, great sound, and really good gameplay. So Bright Mage. Okay, some nature cards. And we got the epic 1 mana cost magic card. Roar, select a card that costs no more than your total unlocked mana gems, reduce its cost by 1. Okay, that's not bad. We have our last pack here. That's very nice. That is a legendary card, 7 cost. At the end of each turn, destroy 3 other random creatures with health 3 or less. So that's interesting, Cerberus. And we also got a 10 mana cost magic card. That's a rare Leyhorde Hatchling. At the start of your turn, set this creature's mana cost to 10 minus the number of cards in your hand and deal 4 damage on a roar. So yeah, this means like at the start of turn 9, this card's gonna only cost 1 mana. Or excuse me, it's not based on the turn, it's based on the number of cards in your hand. So the more cards you have, the cheaper it is to play. All right, so actually let's see which one of those packs actually hit the minting. Let's see, hopefully, let me just refresh the screen. And I'm just curious if that legendary actually, so I'll have to refresh that, take a look at that later. But what I wanted to also show is they've just announced the Gods token as part of Gods Unchained. It was just released, I think it was like a week ago. This is essentially the equivalent in Splinterlands of SPS. So the Gods token right now is valued at $6.89 each. It's up almost 30% today, which is pretty impressive. And they've actually just announced an event where you can earn Gods tokens right now by playing the game. The event here is called Blessing of the Gods. It's actually starting now. It started on Monday, and every week for the next 8 weeks, so for the next 2 months, every week that you play 20 or more games, and you win 7 of those minimum, and it has some bot pieces here just to make sure you're not a bot here. You're going to win Gods tokens. You're going to get points for playing the game. You get points based on your rank and in the game, and you also get bonus points if you play additional games. So if you play 40 games or 60 games, you get additional points. And basically, they have a pool of 100,000 Gods tokens. So that's worth $687,000 every week that they're going to divide amongst the players. Now, the players, there's not a lot of players in this game right now, probably only a couple thousand. So if you take 680,000 and divide it by, let's say maybe, be generous, 10,000 players, that's a lot of potential earnings you can be making in this game right now. So I definitely recommend checking the game out, participating in this event. For the next 2 months, you'll be able to earn Gods tokens as well as the packs during the weekend battles. Definitely recommend if you're playing Splinterlands or other play-to-earn games, take a look at Gods Unchained. The game is actually really fun. We're going to go into some gameplay here so I can show you a quick game. And let me do that. And then you be the judge on if it's something that you would like to play or you would be interested in. And I'll try and explain it as best I can. I'm by no means an expert in this game. I just played it a little bit, but I can say it's definitely a fun game. So the concept of the game is you have 6 gods that you fight using, and basically you're going to compare them to summoners in Splinterlands. For me, I'm using the god of magic. And this god power I'll use Palace's Genius, which is a 3 mana cost god power. Select that at the beginning of the game. You're now selecting your starting cards. Generally speaking, I'm running an aggro deck or a zoo deck, which means I'm trying to have control of the board and end the game quickly. So I want a lot of low mana cards to start the game. And I'm fine with this to start because I do like this as my only legendary, other than the one I just pulled right now earlier, which is a very good legendary if it can stay on the board, and you'll see that played here in a little bit. So I'm going to keep these 3 and start with these. Now, what we have here is I'm going second, so they've deployed Viking Axewoman, and now it's my turn. What I'm going to do is to deploy this Feel It Protector, which gives like a taunt or a shield ability. And then I'm going to use one of these small bag of tricks to get an extra mana. You get 3 of those if you go second. It's basically just a balancing port of the game so that if you go second, it's not a disadvantage to you. I have 3 of those free manas, and the person that goes first has 1. So I've deployed 2 monsters to the board, one that has taunt with 3 attack and 3 health, and this other one, the shield bearer, that gave extra health and attack to my taunter. And I'm going to turn over to the other opponent to play. When you deploy onto the board, there's something called Roar. That's when you deploy on the board, you roar, and you get the special ability that activates only 1 time. You can see there, the Viking Axewoman attacked my taunter, did 2 damage. I did 3 damage in return and killed her. And then he used the God Magic power of 1 damage to, or excuse me, a spell to kill my taunter. So now I have 2 mana to use on turn 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another of the small bag of tricks. I'm going to increase my mana to 3, deploy my legendary card, and then I'm going to attack with my monster that's on the board, their god, and reduce their health to 29. When the god's health on the other side gets down to 0, the game is over, or vice versa. If they take my god down to 0, they win. So in this case, I took 1 health off the god, and then I played my card. My legendary card, its special ability, generates a 0-cost rune every turn, which is very valuable. So as long as that stays on the board, it'll be helpful to me. I'm hoping he doesn't have any more spells to use against me, which he does. And yeah, it's his god power. So there's no way around that. He's always going to be able to do that with this particular god. So I did get 1 good rune off with that legendary card. It's not a great trade, but you know, it is what it is. I'm going to save this rune for +2/+2 until I get a better creature on the board. I am going to, again, just because I want to have board dominance, I want to try and get as much rush on the board as possible. So I'm going to use my last small bag of tricks to deploy this 4-cost mana creature. The roar is going to give me an extra +1 attack. So when I attack here, my 2 attack will take away its 2 health and kill this creature. But this Tribal Orc's 2 attack on its side will do its damage to me in return and kill me. It's okay, it's a swap. I still have a creature on the board that's sleeping, and next turn we'll be able to attack. Okay, I'll move there. Let's see what the opponent plays. They now have 4 mana plus 1 mana they could use as a small bag of tricks, so we'll see what they can do. They actually have a number of cards available, and they've deployed a defensive taunt card. Okay. So for me at this point, it's got 6 health, I only have 2 attack, and it's going to pretty much damage me, and I won't be able to attack the opponent's god until I get rid of this taunter. So what I'm going to do is deploy the Wild Hog onto the field as a 1-cost mana. I'm going to give, I don't want to do this, but I really don't have a choice. I'm going to give this rune to my Sing Song Satyr, and then increase her attack to 4 and her health to 5, which will help there. And then I'll use my God Power here to see what I pull. Alright. We ended our turn. So one thing that's also worth noting is this Confused ability. This Confused ability is usually given to cards that have overpowered stats for the mana, and it's a way to balance the card. In this case, a confused creature may not always attack its target. Sometimes we could confuse and attack another random target, so you can't guarantee your attacks will go as planned. That's one of the disadvantages of having a card that has good stats for the mana cost. Okay, I lost that card. So again, we're doing a lot of trading here. I'm going to use my Veteran Archer in this case to do 2 ping damage when it roars to take out this creature with poison. That'll clear the board and allow my Wild Hog to attack the god. Then I will use my remaining mana to draw a card. And we got a Trial Spirit with a reduced mana cost. And actually, we can add 1 health to one of our creatures. We'll do that and play that. And hand over the turn to the opponent. So we have some board control now with 3 monsters on the board, which is good compared to our opponent having none. We'll see if he can clear the board, or in this case, put up another taunt and add more monsters. So it's a defensive play. I do have Crystal Rain, which is a board clearing ability, which I'll probably use here just to maintain board dominance. So it's an area of effect spell, and it gives me Foresight. I don't really need that creature, so I'll put him back there, and then we'll use that to get rid of the taunt, and then we'll attack the god here. And now you can see here I have accrued some favor, which is 24, and I can go in here and I can spend that favor to get some additional cards. I'm not going to use anything of that yet. I'll save that at this point to see if we need it in the future. Let's see where our opponent does. He now has 6 mana to spend, so at this point he could be starting to throw larger mana creatures on the board, which would be harder for me to remove. You can see that there. This is a 4-cost creature. Okay, so I'm going to look here. Could do 1 ping damage. Or we could do 2 damage with that spell. Actually, we'll take this one, use the favor to get that card. We will play this card to reduce the health here down to 2. And then we will try and use Wild Hog to attack it and kill this creature, Under Bridge Assailant. Because it's confused, it may not hit it. It did, which is good, so we were able to trade there. We'll play our 4-cost Wetlands Ogre, and then we'll attack here and end our turn. So we're slowly chipping away at their god, and we're just trying to avoid them playing a really strong monster that we can't deal damage to. Again, it's defensive taunt here, 2 of those. Okay. We'll use Crystal Rain again. And then we'll... Actually, that's fine for next turn. We'll trade here. We'll use a 1-cost there, and then we'll attack here. We'll end our turn. So next turn, assuming everything stays alive on our board and they don't put taunt down, which they did put taunt down, we would have been able to do 8 damage to their god. Now you can start to see them playing higher cost cards, which are going to be problematic for us to deal with. Let's see what we can spend over here with favor. We can do +2/+2 to a friendly frontline creature, which would be helpful. Or we could do 2 damage. So this this Bard Portcullis, because of the ability of Uncanny Rogue, is very dangerous. It's anything that attacks it will die because of the poison, and it's got 4 health, so we need to use this spell to do a swap here. So we're going to do damage there, spend it here. I'm going to choose to do 2 damage. And then we're going to try and attack it with a lesser card to get rid of it. And then we will go to their god with the rest. And then we will do that and play a lot of our cards. So again, we're an aggro deck, so we're trying to get on the board, control the tempo, and that's a bad card for us. That's going to do a lot of damage on a board clear. Yeah, that hurts. If they did not have that card to play, we would have won next turn, more than likely. So that's a problem for us. It's a real big problem because we don't have any cards. And that really changed the battle there. And now they're giving a very tough frontline card. And you can see very quickly the battle's changed. And I don't have any cards to draw here, so this is a problem. So we're a little bit in desperation mode now. So I can't play this card this turn. Yep, so we're in trouble. We went from pretty much basically winning a game on this turn to defensive mode. The opponent had basically a get out of jail free card that they drew, and we're in trouble. Yeah. Not good. Okay, that's a good card for us. We're actually going to play that card next turn. Actually, let me see. Sorry. They're going to do 15 damage to us. Yeah, so... Yeah, I don't think we can win because they have too much damage on the board. So, GG. Now where we can win. Those 2 cards, basically if they're playing those 3 cards, they win the game. Because they're going to go straight to face here and hit my god for 15 damage and take the game. So a little bit of a disappointment here on this gameplay. Obviously, I'd like to come away with a victory. They just had the right card to play at the right time, drew it or had it in their hand, and yeah. I don't know why they're prolonging the kill here. I think they're just messing around because it could just end the game right now. But if you've played Hearthstone, there's a reason why they don't have chat in the game, because there will definitely be some supply words said at this point because they're just wasting time. Yeah, okay, congratulations. All right, so there you go. There's God's Unchained gameplay. It is actually a very fun game. It would have been funner if we would have won that game, obviously. But hopefully that gives you some insight into the gameplay itself. We did win a pack here because we ran up a level. So we'll just see. We'll open that real quick. Oops. Looks like it's not there for some reason. But in any case, This is Gods Unchained. The event is ongoing. The Blessing of the Gods over the next 8 weeks. Could be a great opportunity to get introduced to the game, as the game is really just starting to gain momentum and traction in players, and you can get Gods tokens for free. So until next time, keep stacking those stats.
That's entertainment.